recorded. And first thing I want to do is welcome you to this Zoom. I muted myself. That's never really happened before. But like I said, I'm not John Haremza. I am Chuck Hansen, and I'll be your host here while John is up riding his motorcycle around the woods until he gets back to civilization. So we will have an event on Thursday night at 10 p.m. East Coast time. Just wanted to reassure everybody that that event is going to go through. So make sure that you invite people from your warm market funnel, from your cold market funnel. Invite. So, let's do this. If anybody, this Zoom primarily is for us to talk about the cold market and what's happening there. John's with us. I know Jeff Finn is supposed to be here, and I'm sure he is somewhere. I just can't find him right now, but I'm sure he's here. And one of the things that I asked Jeff to do was to kind of give us an update as to where the leads are, how everything is going. And one of the things that I wanted to, and Jeff will concur, that you're going to see, a constant increase in the flow of leads. You're going to also see a constant increase in the quality of the flow of leads as they refine the message, as they optimize and discover who our perfect customer is. So that will continue to go up and up and up. And so, hey, before we get started with that, if anybody's got any great news, other than the broadcast yesterday was awesome. I'll tell you, I was so impressed. When you have something that is something like that, you just never know, right? I mean, you got a lot of moving parts, you got a lot of internet going on, and you just never know what a glitch might get in there and get you. And, I was so impressed that Dave and the gang pulled that off for 9 hours with everything that they did without a glitch. And, I stayed right in there. Luckily, my wife just had knee replacement surgery and is on oxycodone. So she was in bed, and I gave her a couple of extras so she slept all day. And so I wasn't harassed. What are you doing in front of a computer all day long? Well, I got stuff to do. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had some guests on there. We do have it recorded. If you haven't seen it, and if you need the recording, and if you haven't seen the recording, get over to me and we'll get you a copy of the recording. So with that, if anybody's got any, Bill, I heard you had some success. John was telling me that you had some people that came through the either the cold market funnel, I think it was cold market funnel. And so why don't you share some of your success with us? Unmute. Oh, there you go.
There we go. Can you hear me okay?
Gotcha.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on. And I really love being part of this company and part of your Valtribe here. So yeah, I had some success today. It's a numbers game, right? I mean, this is all, we've got 5 leads so far. I got to be honest with you. The first 3, I was a little nervous. One of them was a bad number. The second one really didn't want to talk. And the third one was a bad number and couldn't get a hold of anybody. But the 4th and the 5th were absolute winners. So, what I'd really kind of encourage everybody on this line is to don't get discouraged if the first few don't work, because it's a numbers game. And I can tell you what happened on my 4th call was very encouraging. I want to share that with you. So I called Sandra and I introduced myself. I said, "Hi, my name's Bill Ball. Is this Sandra?" She said, "Yeah, it is." I said, well, you don't know me, but you just downloaded a copy of my mentor's book. And I wanted to actually see if you had a chance to, start looking at it yet, or if you were actually looking for something yourself. And she goes, well, as a matter of fact, I am. She says, I'm looking for a work from home opportunity. And I said, well, that's awesome. I said, where do you live? She goes, I live in Gulfport, Mississippi. And I told her I lived in Sarasota, Florida. She says, well, I used to live in Bradenton, Florida. So that started a great conversation. And guys, the part about this that's going to really get you some success is engaging in the conversation in the beginning. Get engaged, find something in common. So, that kind of led me to ask her what she was looking for. And she said she was 76 years old, that she can't leave the house because of osteoarthritis and diabetes. And and some of her friends joked around with her and said, well, why don't you just get a job? She says, well, I can't get a job. I have these health conditions that make me stay at home. I can't really walk. And my doctor told me I'm going to end up losing feeling in my limbs, and I'm starting to get numbness in my feet. And I said, do you believe in divine intervention? And she says, well, yes, I do. I said, well, first of all, let's put the home-based business opportunity aside right now. Let me tell you a little bit about a product that I think you need to take a look at. It's called Emulin. And she got really excited about the Emulin because of what she shared with me. And then she went on to tell me that she was really excited and only wanted to earn about $200 to $300 a month extra to put her over the top. And I said, if I told you I could get you to $200 to $300 a week, and I'm not making any claims here, but would that excite you? She goes, oh my Lord, that would be a blessing. I said, well, I think that's really easy, and I could show you how to do that too. I said, but let's not put the cart before the horse. How about we do this? I'm going to put a little special email together for you that highlights our product we talked about. You're already pre-enrolled in my business. I want you to take a little tour around there tonight when you get a chance. And when would be a good time for me to circle back with you and have another conversation about what you looked at? She goes, well, I'm free this time tomorrow again if you want to call. I said, I'd love to. So why don't we set that up, and I'll call you tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. She said, great. So we have a call scheduled for tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. and I can almost guarantee you she will pick a pack to sign up at. The next call, and this is a quick one, I won't go too long, was just as encouraging. A lady named Yolanda, and she was looking for just about the same thing, a work from home opportunity. She was really excited about scheduling a follow-up call tomorrow at 11:30 after she gets to review all the information. So guys, 5 leads, 3 were bogus, 2 were amazing. And I don't know if that's going to be the odds, but I'll tell you what, if it is, I'm really excited.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really the luck of the draw, right? Because of the rotation. I mean, you just never know who is going to fall into that slot. And, unfortunately, I haven't had that much luck. So mine have not been all that good. And I know, Bill, just like you said, it's just a numbers game, right? It's just a numbers game. You just gotta, I know that over the course of 12 months, if you spend $300 a month and you get 45 leads, that's 540 new people put into your business over the course of 12 months. And I know that over that course of that time, 540 people, you're going to find some good ones. I mean, the reality is that you only have to find one. You really only have to find a couple, right? Over the whole course of the year, just find a few. And that's the encouragement, right? I mean, that is the upside of everything. We just did, I don't know if any of you guys have watched the presentation that I've done. You're going to see it on Thursday of how I explain the compensation plan, but I put it into a different format. And, and I take people through that format, showing them what will happen to them based on doing and finding one person a month over time, right? Give them that expectation of what will happen. And that's worked out tremendously well, because it doesn't give any false expectations to anybody that they're going to make a lot of money instantly. So this is a journey that we're all going on, and luckily we're in a company that has just celebrated its 6th year. I wish I would have listened to Dave earlier than I did. I didn't get started until June of 2018. And, he told me a long time ago that I ought to come with him. And, it was that Rick Geralds that finally convinced me to look at Valentis. Rick and I were talking one day, and he said, I said, how's that Valentis thing going for you? And he said, I've made about $1.4 million, in the last little bit of time. And I said, really? I said, 1.4. I said, that's pretty good. I said, what's been your best amount of money? He said, well, about 20,000 a week, 80 grand a month. And I go, yeah, that's substantial money. And that's how that whole conversation started. And a lot of you know that I was 215 pounds back then. I had a 40-inch waist. And then Dave called me, and the rest is history. Right now I'm 175 and a 32-inch waist. So a lot of things have dropped off. Hey, Jeff Finn, are you around there anywhere? Nope. Okay. Well, he'll be coming along, I know. Mitch, I know you had some success on a cold market lead here just recently. In fact, you and I were on the phone with this old boy in Chicago. So give us an update.
Yeah, well, like you said, it is a numbers game, and I think everybody just has to realize that, because the first four, actually five, were not really any good for various reasons, and but I know that there are more crazy people out there besides us 64 people, and so. Anyway, I sent a text, and the text basically just was a quick intro. I found that it seems to work really good to send them a text and then just say, if you'd like some more info, shoot me a text back. And then that kind of opens the door. And if they text back, then I call them. Actually, I thought it was kind of a good way to weed out, anybody that, not waste my time and weed out the ones that might not be interested anyway. And then if I hadn't, reached them on a text, I would send an email and then attempt to call. But it was really good. I mean, he's very interested. He's all about a quote side gig, and he's in Chicago. Seems like a great guy. And so I sent him a little bit more information, to kind of brief him on the, more information than just the funnel part. And, anybody can send anything they want through the app to whomever. So worked out really great. And he's looking right now, and I'm hopeful. So, and I got one other person that suddenly just recently also same type of story. So pretty good. Good stuff.
Well, I can see a ton of pre-enrollees being put in.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just a ton of pre-enrollees put in. And that's the key, is just getting them in the loop and getting them through the process. And, we all just have to remember that this is a process, it's small exposures. And so that's what I want to talk about here this evening, is to make sure that we understand that, when we take that pre-enrollee and we dump them into the Valentis system, all that they've seen at that point is that power line video that is edited, that has nothing to do with Valentis, right? So they're sitting there. Now, yes, they do get an initial message from Valentis. So that's a little confusing, and we're going to work on those messages just as quick as John gets back into town. We're also going to work on, we've created a sequence, if you will. And we're really, I'm all for automating the sequence. And that sequence is really a series of small exposures tagged along with some additional videos from John, just to create the rapport. Now, it won't replace us, going in and building that rapport as well, but it will just enhance everybody, because it'll take, I believe that, the reason that franchising is so successful is because they're very systematic. right? There's a certain way to build that quarter pounder. There's a certain way to build that hamburger. There's a certain way to do everything. I belong to a kickboxing called Round 9, right? So, so I started kickboxing again. I was real good when I was a kid. I looked at their franchise, 75 grand. They want 75 grand, but you got to have at least 100 and a quarter, to get started in that franchise. And now you got a business. So, but they have a systematic way of doing things, and over time you make money. So this is our systematic way of enhancing our return on investment. And that is to take that prospect through these various doors, if you will. John comes on. I mean, we've written everything and scripted everything out. It's just now a matter of getting him back into town and getting in front of a camera and getting it knocked out. And then we're going to hand it. What we're going to do is take that prospect or that pre-enrollee and take them through a secondary funnel. That secondary funnel is going to bring John back into the loop, and he's going to introduce Valentis. They're going to get to see the movie, the product, the thermal roast video, basically the company video. And then he's going to come back on and do a little rapport building. And we've utilized his first video that he did a long time ago, where he's riding in the car and he says, and here's my trailer on the left, the yellow and white one. And, he comes back on, he says, now that we're almost friends, I want to show you how I started in this industry 32 years ago. And he takes that person through that little journey backwards and then moves them upwards. And then he says, let me show you the best way to get started. So we won't have any, you'll know exactly. And each time that person, that pre-enrollee takes that next step, you're going to get a text message, right? You'll get a text message that'll say, they just watched the thermal roast video, the company video. They just did this. They just did that, so on and so forth. Now you have the opportunity to interact, and John's going to, again, reemphasize that all the time, that there's a coach out there that is dying to help you, get things done. So I'm excited about that automation process, because again, it'll keep everybody in the same path, if you will. And, so we'll let you know more about that as we move forward. I was hoping, let me call out for Jeff one more time. Hey, Jeff, are you there? Jeff. Maybe he is, and I can't. Probably not. Okay, he was helping somebody do something, and my buddy Rick Cotton was sick as a dog, and not feeling very well. So those two guys are out of the loop. But I see Smiling John over there. So Smiling John, come on out of mute and tell us what's going on in the back office. You're good.
There we are. Hey. So I've been doing a lot of stuff, making sure that the leads and stuff are flowing this past week. Just, monitoring that. Especially when we ramped up stuff, I wanted to make sure that was all going through. And then there's been, so some of the questions that have arisen, I want to just kind of address on here. So when you do get a couple bad numbers or a couple bad leads, we are going to over produce leads. We're not sure how many we're going to be able to, but we will go above and beyond what you guys ordered. Just so you guys are aware. So even if you say you order 10 and you got 10 good ones, you're still going to get a few extra. But if you get a couple bad ones, you know, so as you guys talk amongst one another too about things in your own smaller groups and stuff, just let everyone know. You'll get the kind of the same response if you're emailing me. You know, it'll be that we're going to be overproducing. Make sure you guys get plenty of them.
Hey, John, while we've got you right here, has anybody got a question about anything, you know, relative to tribe marketing and, you know, especially what John does, and he's more in the programming. If you're not getting text messages, John, I know we talked about having a back office that people can get into.
Yeah.
So
I'm still working on that.
Okay.
But I wanted to make sure everything is flowing good, getting into this Valenta system. Now there are times where I get a message saying, hey, this one, I got the message saying they're pre-enrolled on my phone, but when I go to the back office, they're not showing up. So there's a couple things as to why that occurs. One of them is that they've been someone else that's already pre-enrolled with somebody else sometime in the past before we had this going. There's that, or they're actually already a member. So I've seen that happen a couple times already, just so you guys are aware.
Right, yeah, so you guys already understand that once we hit the Valenta system with that pre-enrollee, if that email has been tagged to somebody else, then it shuts it down right there. It shows that they've been pre-enrolled, but they're not there, right? They're just.
Yeah. So what will happen if they were already just pre-enrolled? The screen that they'll see then is they can select who they want to stay with.
Right.
But if they are already a member, it'll just pop up that they need to log in.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know John's working on the back office, and what that back office is going to allow us to do is go in there and have more detail, change phone numbers, change emails, you know, whatever is necessary in order to operate and run your account. That'll all be back there, and I'm sure a lot more whistles and bells than I even know about. But these guys always surprise me with things, and I told you, I think I was mentioning last week that we're working on another funnel for somebody else, and I was hoping that we could have met with him and shown him the what we have put together, because I wanted to show all of you guys, but that obviously didn't happen, and so I'm not in control of his schedule. If I was, it would have already happened. But and I know, Lori, you're smiling because you know you know the person that we're talking about, and you know that he's only in control of his own schedule, right? So anyway, so we're going to have that done, and what that is going to do, it's going to give us another ad, right? It's going to give us another series of ads that will pull people from, that'll go through that funnel and wind up getting pre-enrolled and go through the rotation process. So we'll have multiple ads out there. I like to kind of use the analogy of, you know, two airlines owned by the same company, but with different banners and different gates and different, you know, you got Spirit and you got Delta, right? Or there's a lot of them like that. And so, you know, it's all going, you know, all of it's going into the rotation, but some people will get attracted to that message. Some people will get attracted to John's message. And quite frankly, I'm working on 2 others right now that so we can have a series of things going on because there's no shortage of people. You know, that's the good news. There's no shortage of people out there looking for and searching for, you know, work at home opportunities. I mean, so we could never get to all of them. no matter how we tried. So there's no shortage of that. That's why, you know, when John and I talked about doing this and opening it up to everybody, it wasn't a concern, right? Because we're all going to participate. We're all going to win over time as we stay in here and continue the process. So anybody got any questions about anything that we can clear up? If you do, raise your hand or jump up and down. Jackie, go ahead.
Oh yeah, hi. I just needed, I know I sent you a message just to get the link for the closed Facebook page for the Blue Ocean Co-op, because the link that you sent me, it's not working. So I'm just trying to see if I can get invited into that group. And the other thing, being in Australia, with the numbers that are being sent through, so I've had 5 leads that have come through too, which has been really great and encouraging. So I've used the app, and then I've followed up with a script that I've made up through an email as well, just to further more about the opportunities with Valentis and the growth, etc. But what is the international number to place in front for the US? Because I'm not quite sure, because there's a range of different numbers that are coming through from different areas. But being in Australia, is it just +1 in front of the numbers that are coming through?
Is it 011?
Yeah. Yeah.
011, is it?
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
Also,
Also,
Mitch,
hey,
why don't you tell her about the Facebook page?
yeah, on the Blue Ocean Co-op Facebook page, it's meant to be a secret page. And when you have a secret page, you can't find it. Nobody can find it. So you have to be invited. You can be invited by somebody that's in the group, or, well, you have to be invited by somebody that's in the group, and you can be invited by being friends with them, making sure that their name highlights when you put it in there, or you can use their email address. But the email address has to be the one that's attached to Facebook. Okay, we've had a few people that say, well, I couldn't get in, or I didn't, it wouldn't work or whatever. That's why. Okay, so just make sure, I mean, I could add you if just, I think we're friends on Facebook. Just send me a messenger and we'll add you.
Yeah, so Jackie, that's what happened today was I invited you, but either your email address isn't attached to your Facebook account or that email address. And since we weren't friends on Facebook, I couldn't get you in, even though Mitch approved and you got the invitation. Facebook just wouldn't let it happen. So kind of crazy, but we've got to go by their set of rules. So okay, so we got that sorted out. So anything else? No raised hands. John, go ahead. Go ahead.
Right. If there's no more questions, there is one thing, since you are talking about other funnels, that I think is worthwhile sharing on some of the stuff, how I build stuff. So when you guys get leads, or even if it's warm market leads that you're putting through your funnels, any other thing that we have in place, and let's say a lead was to go to another funnel, I'm going to re-deliver it to you if you already have acquired them through our system. And it's not going to get counted as another lead or anything. So it's kind of, you own those leads within our system as well when they get delivered, just so you're aware of that.
Okay. I don't know exactly what he said, but
Well, so let's say you get 10 leads, and say lead number 2 is john@bill.com.
oh,
Let's say he didn't buy in, but he was pre-enrolled, and then he kind of falls off a bit. But then say 3 months from now, he clicks on a different funnel or different ad that we have, and he comes back through, he's going to get re-delivered back to you again.
oh, okay.
And not get counted as another lead.
Okay.
So
Okay.
anything that we're doing down the road too, those all stay within, that's
That
your
person.
for
Yeah,
life.
very, very cool. Okay, I got it. Yeah, that makes total sense. Hey, let me bring you up to speed. I kind of spilled the beans last night on our Monday call. And that was the fact that, you know, it's just human nature, right? I mean, we come up with the thermal perk. You know, if you haven't tried it, it's awesome. I've been on it, and you know, somebody said to me, well, hey, if one works, how do you think two would work? And I said, well, you know, I never thought about that.
How'd you do with
If
that,
one
Chuck?
works good, two probably, you know, that's just how we are, you know, more is better, right? So I said, let me find out, because it said right on there, limit your intake to one a day. So I got a hold of Kevin, and Kevin and I are old friends. And so I texted him and I said, hey man, you know, can somebody do two? He said, yeah, you could do two, but don't drink coffee, you know, and do two. And I said, okay, that makes sense. And I said, and then he said, well, you could also do two. Now, if you're big, you know, big person, you can do two and drink coffee. And so I don't know exactly what big meant, but there are some big people out there. And Mitch was a big person at one time, so he could have done three and done more than one cup of coffee. Uh, but now he's a skinny guy, right? So that's okay. I can pick on him. I've known him for a long time. So
I say less fat.
right, less fat. Okay,
Yes,
less
sir.
fat. Hey, you know, I understand. I mean, I never dreamed it was the furthest thing from my mind that I would lose weight as a result of drinking that damn coffee 2 years ago. And, you know, and I just said, oh, it won't work. You know, can't be that good. Right. And sure enough, it was. And, you know, when I got the thermo perk, I mean, it was, my wife wants to get me on a double dose of that because I get a lot of stuff done. I mean, I like get started in the morning and I just don't ever stop. It's like the Energizer Bunny, right? I just keep going and going and going and going, and I'm moving. She said, you know, are you on any drugs that I don't know about? And I said, no, I just, you know, just some thermo perk and some coffee. And so, yeah, you know, and one of the things that I did is I checked my blood pressure and I checked my heart rate. You know, I've got an app on my phone, right, to check my heart rate. And so I checked that and I checked my blood pressure and it didn't alter any of those. So that was a good thing. So, but I had plenty of energy and not jittery, you know, just a good flow of natural energy. I can't wait for all of you guys to get on it, try it, share it, because it's that instant gratification product. I mean, that and a cup of thermal roast or a cup of optimum, and you know, whoever you're talking to is going to definitely have a great day, right? They're gonna have a great day. Take these two and call me in the morning. So,
And they'll be talking like a chipmunk.
right, right.
It's not.
Yeah. Hey guys, you know, we could go on, and it's always great hanging out with everybody. But I know you guys have got a lot of things to do. I've got a few things to do. It's getting late over here on the East Coast, and I've got a bowl of, you know, watermelon waiting for me. But Thursday night, 10 p.m. East Coast time on this bridge, right on this Zoom, we'll do a business opportunity, the world's best business opportunity, Valentis, and we'll go through that whole thing. I'm going to ask for some testimonials, so be prepared, you know, short, prepared. So with that, God bless everybody. Thanks for joining us early in the morning or late in the morning or wherever in the world you happen to be. And our fearless leader will be back from the North Woods on Saturday or Sunday back into Las Vegas. And then we'll get started on that whole automation. John, did you have something to say before we left? Nope, you were just waving? Okay. Everybody wave. Okay. Okay, we'll see you later. Thanks for joining us. See you guys.